does it go? Can you move this left, right? Maybe that's what it is. We have a video of us just going. Yeah. How's this? How do you do this thing?
Is this thing on? What's happening?
I think it's recording. Hello, it's Michael Serio here backstage at the Electric Factory on a nice kind of... Is this vinyl? Do you think this is...
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the screaming eagles.
We're trying to be friends. I think we got him. Is this... I think this is like a...
I don't know, it's kind of like... I don't know, I feel like it might be a vinyl leather combination. I don't think it's pleather. I don't know if it's... I mean, it's durable, that's for sure.
I love the people that clicked on this video and go, I wonder what's up with Motion City Soundtrack. They're talking about fabrics.
Yeah.
I asked some friends last night. I go, hey, I'm going to be talking to Justin Pierre tomorrow. What should I talk to him about? They go,
and they're like, Justin who? and then you're like, never mind.
You know, the baseball player? I go, no, that's Juan Pierre. That's something different. They go, can you get some of his hair for us? And
That's a weird request.
I don't know what you do with it. Like you've heard that before. Like if you really like someone's like a lock of their hair, but what do you do with a lock of someone's hair?
I feel like that's either witchcraft or wizardry. You know.
Do you think they clone you, like build a new Justin Pierre out of the hair?
I don't think the people who want the hair have the technology to do that, and the people that have the technology to do that don't want this hair.
Okay, so there, in the Venn diagram of it, there's no overlap between people that collect hair and people that have the ability to clone.
Yes,
your hair you do have like a lot of hair, like it's everywhere.
You know, knock on vinyl, pleather, leather. It's still
knock
there.
On unknown fabric.
Knock on unknown.
Hair's going well.
Yeah. I'm gonna ride this train as long as I can.
Good.
But yeah. I don't know. I do put stuff in it, but I try not to wash it very often. So, like, I'll wash it once a week if I can. But I just don't, when I'm on tour anyway. I think I wash it a little more than when I'm at home.
You probably should. I mean, you're probably sweating more on tour.
Yeah, and it doesn't really hold. It's got to be pretty short for it to stick up while I'm playing shows, because usually it just kind of falls down and goes all over the place. But hair talk.
We got fabrics done. We got hair done. Hey, it was really great. No, we should talk about this 10th anniversary of Commit This to Memory. How cool is that?
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it's weird because it both feels like a lifetime ago, and it also feels like not necessarily yesterday, but not that long ago. I don't know. It's a weird thing, time. But as far as doing this tour, and we're like a little over a week, maybe 2 weeks into it. Things have been going really well, and people are coming out and they're excited. And I don't know, it's a lot of fun.
The cool thing about it is you guys have done so much after that, which is really cool. And right now, I don't know if you've been kind of paying attention to it, but a lot of bands from that era are doing the 10th anniversary tour of their landmark album. And then everything else that kind of came after it was like, so it feels kind of weird.
It is. It's. I don't know what this means, but we have a lot of. I don't read a ton of stuff when people are fighting about albums and which ones they prefer, but it's very interesting that some of our fans are adamant that Commit This to Memory is the one, and some of them are like, I Am the Movie, everything was shit after that, and some people are like, even if it kills me, that's the one. And then it's weird that I think it's a good thing.
Can I ask a question about I Am the Movie? Is Betty a real person? And is she okay?
Betty's fine. Betty's doing just fine these days. She's about 89 years old, but she's got a lot of friends and family.
Who's Betty?
Well, actually, Betty was kind of. I just talked to someone about this. Like I've given. I try not to get too into detail about exactly what things mean, but I'm trying to get away from that a little more to give people something because it's fun. But I also this is a long-winded story, but because sometimes when you tell someone what you had in your mind or what you were thinking or what it means to you, it can kind of ruin it for them. And so I want to walk that fine line of not.
I get it. I totally get that.
So But yeah, I mean, this one's not that weird. But yeah, I think Betty was sort of an amalgamation of a couple different people and things. I know that just in that song in particular, The Future Freaks Me Out, it was kind of about, even then, like, I don't know, I was in my early 20s thinking about things and not understanding popular culture and what's going on. And I was still stuck in, like, the early 90s, you know. I was into Twin Peaks and Night Court and, just trying to think, or, like, Moonlighting and, like, the shows that I liked from the 80s and the 90s. And then, like, the most... And so, honestly, like, the only reason that Will and Grace made it into that song is because, like, I'd never seen that show, but that was, like, the most popular thing at the moment that we were writing that. So I was like, oh, I'm going to take that, which has a shelf life of about 10 seconds, you know? And then now it's, like... I don't even know if people, like, you know... a 14-year-old person now, they hear Will and Grace and they have any idea what that means, you know? So
well, if they don't know what Will and Grace means, they have no idea what Night Court is.
Yeah, okay. True. But yeah, so to me, like, Betty was just sort of a person that I could vent to.
So there's a little Betty in all of us.
Me. Yeah, and then just certain people I know, like, you know, 2 or 3 people that I kind of put into one, the conversations that we had.
The interesting thing, when you mention Will and Grace and the shelf life of that, I actually think that's interesting because I think one of the reasons why Motion City Soundtrack kind of outlasted a lot of, you know, what they call pop punk bands from that era is because it doesn't have a shelf life. Like, there's not songs about going to class and, you know, it never felt like it felt like it always felt smarter than everything else. Like, and I liked it. No, true. Like, I mean that. Like, it felt a little bit smarter than everything else, and it felt a little bit more melodic than everything else. And that's why I think I still find myself going back and listening to a lot of, you know, Motion City Soundtrack today, and some of those bands where I go, yeah, that doesn't connect with me quite that much anymore.
Well, you're a kind soul.
I try.
Thank you. I mean, I don't think necessarily. I don't think of myself as someone who's smart. I went to a 2-year community college for 4 years somehow and still didn't.
So you got like double the education.
Yeah, but I don't know how I ended up going for 2 extra years and still not graduate. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So that's how smart I am. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. You said something that I wanted to comment on, but I forgot what it was already. So.
But I mean, it's not like. The songs aren't about I'm all alone on a Saturday night and I hope she calls.
But I think they in a way they are. They're just done in a roundabout way.
In a smarter way.
Well, I don't know. I see, you know, tomato. But I think that, you know, I've always been fascinated by vocabulary. And I think I learned a lot of, I don't know if I should divulge this, I learned a lot of interesting words from watching Woody Allen films.
Okay.
And I've said this before, but this line just stuck with me. Del the Funky Homo Sapien has a line that says, I found a new way to say whatever's clever. And I'm not trying to be clever. It's just that, when I heard that line, I was like, ooh, try to find a new way to say something. You know, and I am not nearly as good as these people, but they inspire me. Ben Folds, Tom Waits, John K. Sampson from the Weekendans. I think those 3 are like, kind of, in terms of saying something in a way that you've never heard it before, and just like having your mind blown, I'd say those 3 are the best. And I've always been fascinated by people that tell stories like that.
10th anniversary of Commit This to Memory tonight, and this tour, and then you guys are working on other stuff right now too.
Yeah, well, we made our 6th album in June of 2014, and we're still trying to figure out when it's going to come out. It keeps changing. Things keep changing. But it will... I'm putting my fist down on this fabric. It is going to come out in 2015. That's as much as we know.
Good.
But it's finished. It's ready to go. I think the artwork is done. We're just fine-tuning things and trying to figure out which tours, which shows we're going to do after this. But there will be more.
Is there any truth to the internet rumor that the cover of the album is the cast of Night Court with John Larroquette in the middle?
You know, I'm going to plead the 5th on that one.
Okay.
Sorry. I think I should get up and
Well, look, good luck tonight. Thank you for doing genius work for all these years and for sitting on this fabric with me. I appreciate the time. Justin Pierre, Motion City Soundtrack. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah. That was fun.
I hope
That was
so.
like one of the more fun things I've done.